I'm here with all Hall of Fame guys, Johnny Velasquez, Mike Smith, Frankie Dettori, 45. That's the number of bones you guys have broken collectively. So why do you keep doing this? Johnny?
I know, I love what I do, like the drug that you don't want to take, but you keep coming back for more. And I think if you love what you do, you get the opportunities that you get, and I think that's what keeps you coming back for more. So if you're good enough or healthy enough to do it and get in the horses that you think you get in, I mean, why not? Why stop?
When I retired once, as you know, for a week, I didn't like it. But you got to look at every sport. Now, look, Roger Federer was playing Grand Slam at 40. NFL players are playing longer, soccer players are playing longer. We got better nutrition, we take care of ourselves more. Nowadays, people don't smoke anymore, so longevity has become longer in every sport, including me. I mean, when I got to 50, I thought, that was the age that you had to stop. But then, if you look around in America now, I can name 10 jockeys over 50. Most of them Hall of Famers. They're still going. And I was telling Mike, as long as he keeps going, I'm going to keep going. So he's a reference point. He's a flag bearer. So I mean, he proves it to everyone that it's still possible to do it.
If you're blessed enough to stay healthy and stay in the kind of shape that we're in, listen, we're not doing the running. The horse does all the hard work, man. If you keep your legs good and your body and your core strong, and you got all that knowledge up there that from the years of riding, man, why not? I mean, I've always felt that I never really had a job to start with anyway. This is just the greatest hobby in the world, man. And why would I stop? I'm just gonna sit on the couch and
die of boredom.
Get heavy and yeah, exactly. So and I'm having just as much fun, and I think both of these guys are as well that I was when I was in my early 30s, man. And look, I don't try to ride near as many, Jerry. I really watch, just try to ride, more quality and your better kind of races. I love shipping around the country or even the world at times. It's the greatest job ever.
Okay, so you said something that I agree with. The horse does the running. The horse does most of the work, but we still have to be fit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think, and we all know that we have a physical drop-off a little bit as we get older. We're not as physically...
Supple and we don't stretch as well.
We don't do the same things physically as we did when we were in our 20s. So what do you do more or less of than you did when you were 35 or 45? Mike?
It's legs, man. It's all legs. If you keep your legs, if your legs go, everything goes. Because you get tired, then there goes your mind, man. There goes your form. There goes your balance. If you can keep your legs strong, you can ride until you're 60.
All right, so you're older than these guys. Johnny, you're the
youngest.
youngest.
A lot of legs.
So what do you do more or less of?
I'm a little different than they do.
Okay.
I mean, what Mike does, I could not do what Mike does.
You mean the workout?
I mean, workouts, 5 days, sometimes 7 days a week, whichever his routine is. I can't do that though. I'm actually a little lighter on the side. If I go to work out too much, and then I disappear. So I ride a little more than what he would does. So that keeps me fit.
More mounts.
More mounts, yeah. That keeps me fit, and I work a little more in the mornings, and if I'm not doing a lot in the afternoon. So just to keep my fitness. I do yoga, or do bike, or I do swimming. Those are things that I do just to keep me strong, or keep me flexible, and hasn't changed. I mean, I don't feel any different. I'm going to be 53. I don't feel any different since I was in my 40s. So I mean, I'm probably in better shape now than I was in my 40s. So it's about how you feel physically, mentally. If you prepare yourself mentally and your body is there physically, I mean, you'll be fine.
Frankie, what do you do more of or less of?
I think after 30 I started to train more, and I get to a point now that I don't let it go anymore. Even if I don't ride for 10 days, I still do my gym work every day. And I find if I stay on top of it, I'm fine. If I slack a little bit, then to get fit again is 10 times harder than it was when I was 30. So the key is just, you know, I do an hour in the gym every day. It's part of my routine. It's part of my, becomes part of your everyday life. When you were 30, I got away with everything, but now we don't. Now we have to keep on top of it.
Okay, so I stopped riding in 2006. At that
Wow.
time, in the Breeders' Cup, there was 8 races in a single day. All right? Now, and it was like 14 million in purses. Now, it's 2 days, it's 14 races, and it's $34 million. That's an example of the changes in the last 15 to 20 years. What are the biggest changes in racing, not just the Breeders' Cup, but racing, that you guys have seen in the last 15 or 20 years? Mike?
I think it's the syndicates, you know, Jerry, where you know, back in the day you rode for a family or a specific outfit, you know, and that was the only man you had to kind of, you know, cater to, or you know, now, you know, there's, you know, my race, there's 200 people on one horse now, you know, I mean, that's changed. The money, some of these purses, you know, back when you were riding, Jerry, and that wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's crazy. You can ship to a little racetrack and ride for $1 million like it's nothing. You know, back when I was a kid, man, the only $1 million race was the Arlington Million and the All-American for quarter horses, you know.
Right.
Now you see them every month.
And also another change is it's become more international.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years ago, say you went up to America, or it was a big thing. Now you got 18 Japanese horses running. Aiden's got 20. I mean, nobody thinks twice of jumping on a plane and setting a horse anywhere. So that's a big change.
I think Frankie hit it right in the head.
Yeah.
I think it's more international. Even in the early 90s and even 2000s, you know, there maybe you get 2 or 3, 4 horses from England or Ireland. Now, you know, you come in from Japan, all the different places, you know, France and everybody else. It has kind of more international people from everywhere, and it makes it much bigger, more viewers. Actually, very competitive. If you know, coming from best horses from everywhere in the world. So that's changed a lot. Yeah.
It seems like it's a lot safer now.
I think the vet checks, you know, are what makes it a whole lot safer too, Jerry. You know, you have to pass a protocol to even get the opportunity to run, and I don't care who you are or what horse you are. For instance, you were on a favorite in Kentucky Derby a year or so ago that you know, was just something minor, but I mean they won't let you run.
Good or bad?
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
I think
Good
it
for
keeps
us.
us all healthy and safe.
Good
I
for
think
us.
that's the big thing is these vet checks that they have. You don't just have your vet check them or the Barnes vet,
That's
right?
right.
There's a whole crew that has to check each and every horse. There's like 7 vets they go through a whole lot now, whereas back in the day they didn't used to.
Yeah.
The main big help is you keep the horse happy, healthy, safe, and sound, and we're on their back. So as long as we can stay up there, we're going to be happy, healthy.
Most memorable Breeders' Cup moment?
That's funny. I just had that. I think my first one was Dallas 1998. First Breeders' Cup that I won with a horse that hasn't run in a year and just had one race. Mr. Dickinson's come to the jockeys room. I was riding 2 horses for him that day, and I was riding, I don't know, 7 total. He says, if you're gonna win a Breeders' Cup today, it's gonna be this horse, Dallas.
Dallas,
yeah. I was like, believe me, and he was crying too. Like he was telling me.
Was they Woodbine?
Huh?
No, where was that year? Churchill.
1998.
Churchill,
The house won it in Canada with
that's right.
Gary Stevens.
Right.
And then a year and a half or 2 years later, I rode him in
Churchill.
1998.
Won
yeah.
again, yeah.
So that was most memorable for me. It kind of put me into a different level with you guys. Obviously, winning the Breeders' Cup and a kid looking up to all you guys and see it, what you guys go through and being part of it. I think that was definitely one of my most memorable. Yeah.
You guys would probably have to agree with Zenyatta beating the boys.
Oh my God.
I tell people that's the day the ground shook in California and there was no
was-
earthquake. It was just the people going that crazy in the grandstand, and I literally could feel the ground shaking from the other side of the racetrack. That's and they didn't stop. You know, for 20 minutes it seemed like after it, I just kept riding her back and forth, and they just kept
That was
going
crazy,
crazy,
yeah.
and I just kept going.
It was
beautiful.
It was
So
nice.
I think that would always stand out as my most memorable moment.
Frankie?
Well, like Johnny said, your first one is probably the most important, but obviously winning the Classic is the ultimate race in America, even if it's on a synthetic track, but you know, winning the Classic, and good feather in my cap. Then I said, then I've done it once, so I'm proud. You won it 5 times, so we're nowhere near you, but one's enough for me at the moment. We'll try again this year.
Somebody asked me one time, what is your biggest superstition in a race? I said, I don't have a superstition, but I always put my left boot on first. So, biggest superstition?
Honestly, I don't have one. I do pray a lot, so this is my thing. I pray a lot, pray every race, I pray every day.
I had lots, obviously, coming from Italy. I had things around my neck and superstition Friday, don't do this, right boot first. I think it's something, as you get older, you grew out of it.
I tell you, I wore a suit one time.
Yeah.
I just got it made, and Jerry said, man, that's the nicest suit I think I've ever seen, right? So I'm like, yeah, I've been saved this suit. I just got it made for the Preakness. I'm riding a horse called Coronado's Quest in the Preakness. Go in the hot box to loosen up a little bit. 15 minutes later, Jerry comes in and say, hey, buddy, you better not ever wear that suit again. You just scratched out of that.
Did you wear it again?
Yes. And guess what? I've scratched again. That suit hangs in that closet to this day, and I've never touched it.
Okay, so you guys, it seems like as you've gone through life in your career, things have evolved and changed, and you've learned things. Of all the Breeders' Cup successes that you've had, if you could go back in time and tell yourself, your younger self, one thing, what would it be?
It's very hard to say because you learn as you go along in racing, you know, and it's very hard to tell a young me what to do now. You know, I think you have to learn your way step by step. You know, I wasn't born good. You know, I've learned from you guys, experience different countries, different tracks. So I think that comes with time, but you can't, you know, I think worth etiquette and just never stop learning. I think that's what I tell a young Frankie.
Mike?
You know, nervous energy doesn't have to be bad. You know, if to me, look, if you're not nervous or excited about it, then you're just, something's wrong. Then you're
No point doing it.
You're not in it. Yeah, you're not in it 100%. So it's not that you're being nervous, right? But that kind of energy can speed things up in your head and get away a little slow, and you rush up instead of just be patient. Use that energy to focus, slow everything down, get away good, get into a rhythm, and a good horse will always run.
You got to work harder than they get nice to you, though. You know, like there's a lot of guys who have very natural talent and they're very good riders, but they don't work as hard as you or pay attention as hard as you. So I think it's always been more about do your homework and prepare yourself better than the next guy. Yeah.
So in television, I've come to try and explain things to the public that we go through. And I've always thought that the pressure of big races can do one of two things to riders. It can paralyze us or it can inspire us. So winning all the huge races that you guys have won, what is your mindset going into a big race, going into the starting gate?
I think being our age, we need it.
You need the pressure.
We need it. You know, I think it makes us ride better. You know, I mean, we hate it because, you know, you got anxiety, you're nervous, but we do need that, you know. But now we know how to control it, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I do. Of course, I'm coming to the Breeders' Cup this weekend. Of course, every race you're nervous. Otherwise, you're not human. But it's a very crazy way of looking at it. But we need it. We thrive off it. But it's also not nice, you know, but that's what we need. I mean, it's a sweet and sour kind of taste, you know, right?
The adrenaline, man.
Yeah.
Same?
For me,
Yeah.
I try to prepare myself the best that I can, though, you know, for anything that happens. Definitely have that little fear. You definitely have that nervousness. If you don't have it, there's something wrong with you. And if you have a plan A, plan B, plan C, so I mean, plan A goes out of the gates open, it's out of there. Now you have to change as quick as possible, and then you go from there. So if you're relaxing, you know, you prepare for it. I think it helps you a lot better than again pushing too quickly.
Well, you see, you talking about pressure can do. That's just to us as human beings. Look at the horses. You can see the ones that are handling it, can't you, Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
Warming up when you're commentating. You can say, "Boy, that one's he's
Washed out.
He's melted.
Yeah.
You know, he's just washed out." And honestly, I've seen riders just melt,
So,
man. I knew in the room going on my way out, I got him. But then you see some and say, man, I don't know if I got him. You know, I'm like Frankie, man. I need that rush, man. It just makes me focus a whole lot better.
Okay.
And it's try to. I mean, we all make mistakes. We try to make the less mistakes possible than the other guy. That's basically the mentality you have to put in. It's like, okay, we all make mistakes. Even you plan A, plan B, it might not work, and the horse might not show up. But the day they shows up and everything, you try to do the less mistakes possible. And that's
just
the way
don't make mistakes.
I look at it.
Okay, I've got a different question for each one of you guys. Frankie,
Go on.
what is the biggest challenge for European riders? I mean, you shipped over from Europe,
Yeah.
For the last 35 years, but you've also ridden here in America. But for the guys coming over, for the Europeans riders coming over, what's the biggest challenge
I
and
think
change?
the speed of the races, yeah.
Okay.
The brakes, you got to be 10 times more sharp that you have to be in Europe because we run longer. You know, basically when you ride here, it's like watching the F1 Grand Prix and the lights goes off and you have to be focused and ready to get that spot. That's the difference. The tracks and, just quicker.
Okay.
Simple as.
Okay. Johnny, you hold the record for purse earnings in North America. It's almost $500 million you're approaching.
Spent it all.
Is there a milestone that you would like to reach before retirement? A goal that you set?
Never put any
Nothing.
goals on myself to be a lead rider, to be most winners, anything like that. Again, I prepare myself. I love what I do. I prepare myself. This is my mentality, and maybe it works for me, and maybe it doesn't work for Mike and anything. It's like if I do the best job I can possibly do in that race, I'm happy, And if I make less mistakes, I'm happy. When I make mistakes, it really kills me. I go all night repeating that thing over and over.
Sometimes the rest of our
So
life.
those are things that really rattles me.
Mike, you're the only one sitting here that's won a Triple Crown. So is there something that you haven't done, a race you haven't won that you would like to?
When I was young, when I started, I was a bit different than Johnny. I imagined and imprinted that I was going to win 3 derbies and 2 Triple Crowns.
Ooh.
I've won 2 derbies and a Triple Crown.
You're
All
not
it
done yet,
takes is one more horse.
Not done yet.
And I'm not done yet, so
Okay.
hey, any trainers out there
Lofty
watching or
goals.
listening,
That's
man,
right.
just one more time.
He sets his bar really high.
Yeah.
I just want another Triple Crown.
All right, so this one's going to be really fun. I'm going to ask each of you the same question. Mike, I want you to describe the personality and the riding style of both these guys. Start with Johnny. His personality and his riding style.
Personality and the riding style. Johnny's will get one out of the gate, gets him in a good spot, and he'll ride you tight. He'll hold you in there, boy. If you think you're going to get out on him or do something to it, he'll have you there. But he's going to have his horse in a good place, ready to run his best race. 9 times out of 10, maybe even more. If he gets beat, it's just the horse wasn't good enough.
Okay. Johnny, for both of you. Oh, wait a minute. You got to add Frankie too.
Frankie,
Be nice.
He goes next. So.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, when we were watching him, especially back now that we have him in America, we see him in a whole lot more dirt races, But on the grass, same way. Always got him out well, put him in a really good spot, saved a lot of ground on the turf all the time, which is important on the grass. Much more important than really the dirt, because you can stop and start a horse on the turf a whole lot easier. So it's important to save some ground. Always has done that, and it just rides a brilliant race. I mean, they're just kind of, both these guys, the races they ride, they're flawless, man. You sit behind them trying to wait for them to make a mistake. Well, by the time you do that, well, it's too late for you to move anyway, because you're stuck behind them. They don't make mistakes, So
Mike is very consistent. Nothing, upsets him, or he can ride a 1 to 5 in a grade 1, or he's just always the same. Natural rider, fantastic. Johnny, I've been riding with him a lot, is brilliant in both dirt and turf. What not many jockeys in America can do that, but Johnny is equally as good in both. And like
Yeah,
Mike said, feel great competitor. And listen, these two guys, they got no faults. You try to look for faults, but they haven't got any. Mike is super calm. Johnny as well. Johnny as well. I'd say maybe Johnny's a bit more intense.
Okay.
Be more. Mike is more kind of calm and laid back. But they are. Once them gates open, everybody is by themselves. So everybody's a competitor, and these two guys are very hard to beat.
I think
Each of them.
Frankie and
individual.
I have kind of same temperament. It was that we can be very intense and calm at the same time. We're hyper people. He's riding, obviously, it speaks for himself, and he has a little bit of my style too. That he get position, get where you can as soon as possible. Mike is more calm, more natural. That I see. Mike doesn't like to be in the horse's way. He likes to leave the horses as easy as possible. Whatever he's taking, he's more relaxed and more weight of the horse, the way that he does things, and it works out perfect for me. I can't do what he does though. It's like Mike is okay. I'm gonna leave the horse. Let me put what he wants to be, then I'll go from there.
Eddie Arcaro won 2 Triple Crowns. But it's the statement that he made that caught my attention. And that statement was, it's hard to get up early in the morning when you're wearing silk pajamas, which means when you're really successful, what motivates you? What gets you up early in the morning now?
I'm really hyper, and my mind doesn't stop. It's always running, and I think there is, and just thinking about racing and thinking about, and I try to, when I'm home and family, I try to, be the family man if I can, and try to, with kids and everything. But that mind always running. So I always had that. I'm thinking, where I'm going to find the next horse, the next best horse. You know what I mean? I had that. That's what kind of keeps me going. Watch races, obviously, and everything, but it always has like, man, I need that good horse. Where I'm going to find that next horse, and that's what keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love what I do. Just simple as that. I love the horses. I love the racing, the crowd, the smell. I love everything. That's what keeps me going. I'd rather be on the track than sit on the couch and get bored. This is my life. It's not a job, like you said. It's my hobby. That's what keeps me going.
Okay, Mike?
Man, what gets me up early, at my age, Jerry, is probably my prostrate to start with. I need to pee.
Cut that.
That might be the soundbite of the meeting here.
To start with. But yeah, just the love of a horse, man. I love riding a horse. And the reason we're all here, everything that I've ever had is because of a horse. Yeah. I still love going out and getting on them. I really do.
Okay. How does the Breeders' Cup stand out from other events?
We said it earlier, is more international now, though. It's like the Olympics. We
Right.
find every good horse from every country, best riders in the world, best trainers, all come in one place to compete for that medal. Definitely a beautiful place to be in and to be part of it.
Mike?
Yeah, the Breeders' Cup is like, used to say our Super Bowl, but it's bigger than that now. Like you said, it is the Olympics, man. It's the best of the best. And you sit in the jocks room and you get to see these guys from all over the world, man. And you're just like, wow, this is gonna be some race, man. These guys they're brilliant. They're brilliant. And it's just, there's nothing like, for me, a Breeders' Cup. Something about Breeders' Cup, man, just takes me to another. I wish I could bottle it up and use it every day. It's not telling how many races I'd win if I did that.
It's got that Ryder Cup feel, America versus the rest of the world, and in a good way. We're not gonna have a fisticuffs in the paddock,
Right.
But it's the only way we can compare the best horse of the world in one place, and he has stood the test of times. What is it, 41 years, and he's grown bigger and bigger and bigger. So he's unique. and just leave it to that.
Favorite career moment, Frankie?
Well, for me is when I won all the races at Ascot.
7 out of 7.
7 out of 7. I mean, I never thought that he was able to do it, and it just happened, and I don't think I can top that.
Okay. No, nobody could.
For me,
Okay.
the Holy Grail was when Justify crossed the wire first in the Belmont. It was probably the most humblest feeling in the world, man. I mean, it brings me to tears now just thinking about it.
So, I mean, for me, winning my first Kentucky Derby, though, you know, so definitely one of my favorite moments. And it's very weird because I wasn't even supposed to ride the horse. I picked up the horse on the last minute. So one of those weird things happens in racing. So I think definitely I would say my first Kentucky Derby, yeah.
How do you guys define success personally? How do you define success? I'm going to start the youngest. I'm going to start with Johnny.
I don't know how to answer that because I never think that I'm successful enough.
Really?
I'm not good enough. Maybe that's what makes me tick and try to do better, though, you know. So racing keep you humble very easily. So, and then at least for me, I think that success doesn't come that easy, and I have to work hard for it. So I just never see myself thinking that I'm very successful.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's a hard question to answer, really, because in our job, it's more time you lose than you win.
Of course.
So, you know, how do you measure success? Obviously by winning, but we never think like that because you're always looking for the next race or the race after that. So I never had the chance to sit down and think, oh, I think I'm successful enough now. I mean, I don't think we think like this. I think...
Never enough?
No, I'm thinking for the next big race coming up, you know?
Okay.
That's the way to go forward.
As a competitor, it's never enough, man. You want to win every time, and if you won it once, you want to win it twice. If you won it twice, you want to win it 3 times. So as a competitor, it never changes. In my personal life, I've learned that to be good to people, to how well liked you are when you walk in a jock's room. And when I walk in a room, these younger kids, man, they know I'm easy to approach. They can come up to me. It's you can just see they look at you different. It's in a good way, and I like that. To me, that means more to me because.
And you are like that.
Because as far as the race goes, I want to beat this guy. He wants to beat me, and he wants to. I don't care if we've done it once. I want to do it as many times as I can possibly do it.
Thanks. I mean, I've learned a lot about you guys that I didn't actually know.